call is being recorded.
Oh, please go ahead. You what? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
A little bit. Yeah, you were loud before.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I was telling I got my name changed to Massai.
Oh, word.
Yeah, I got my name. It's been changed for a minute. I just never changed it on the actual website.
I feel you. I feel you. How do you spell that?
Massai.
All right, I'm changing it on the chart too.
All right. Khepera, Khepera. I didn't know if you needed the last name or not.
Wait, how do you say that?
Khepera.
K-H-E.
Yeah. Khepera.
Okay. You know what? When did you change it?
I changed it like last year.
Peep game, because this is amazing. Last year was the year you transcended your identity and you released your old identity.
Oh, wow.
I'm mind blown. I'm literally mind blown. Like that was the 12th year trend. You literally 12th house Aquarius transcended the knowledge of your divine self. And so why that's crazy is Jupiter is coming through your first, and this is you becoming your divine self, which is clearly Massai.
Wow. Wow.
I'm fucking mind blown. I'm super mind blown. Wow. So I thought you had Saturn and Aqua. Now clearly Saturn that's coming into your first house, 2023, 2024, is your literal karma. This is wild. It's your literal collective responsibility to be this ascended master for the collective. I can't make it up. Yeah. So there's several layers that I'm going to kind of build into this. Please don't hesitate to interrupt. And thank you for existing. I feel like you don't get that enough. So I want to, on behalf of the collective, thank you for existing.
Oh shit, I appreciate that because a lot of people don't get into depth with the astrology and connecting all that stuff like people like you do, So I appreciate that.
No, for real. And please correct me if I'm wrong, but your entire life, have you found that other people, especially like groups of other people or friends, project all weird, shady, and strange things at you? Like you're crazy or delusional because of what
Yeah.
do they gaslight the crap out of you, not knowing that you're with the shits and like you can't really be like that?
Right.
Okay, I just want to confirm that. I want to confirm that that's what you're aware of because that's super incredible. I feel like that's an important facet of your Saturn return because by the time your Saturn returns compared to before you were born, Pluto has fully awakened this. And shout out to you because 94 is such a very special, like pure year to me. Like that's the year Jupiter and Pluto are in Scorpio. And the North Node too, and Destiny, which is wild. Like that's wild. And then this is the year Neptune and Uranus are in the last decade. So I'm gonna break down all these layers and thank you once again because as a researcher, like learning this, like you just taught me a lot, just like straight off the bat, like holy crap. So Saturn being near your rising has legendary quality in the way you identify with this, and it's a part of your grand water trine because oh my god, this is lit. Oh my god. Okay. Oh my god. Okay. That's so shit. That's so air Pisces rising is the genie. It's the ascended master. It's the legendary. It's the legend, but it's also the divine being. It's the beyonder because you're now a representative of the astral realm, the metaphysical, and here. Oh my god! Like your 22-degree rising is ruled by Neptune, which is 22 degrees cap. Like that level of like precision is divine. It's literally like a divine timing, a certain presence. So I just kind of wanted to note that because you have mutual receptivity where the ruler of Saturn is in Pisces. So that's literally like the governor of New York in a New Jersey like courthouse, right? A New Jersey courthouse, and then the governor of New Jersey and like a New York courthouse. It's like, okay, we know each other, right? Like, and we're in each other's hoods, but like, does that make sense? Yeah. So that's really interesting. You kind of have, it's not the right analogy, but it's something to keep in mind because there is that correlation and they can kind of funnel resources and I'll kind of explain that. But the reason why I want to be careful with how I say that, first of all, Venus is retrograding and crip walking over this with Mars, but Pluto has recently just awakened this last year. Like that was the major feature of this. And so your dynamic of interfacing with this is fully awakened. I just kind of want to maintain this is one of the most supernatural aspects in astrology, but especially as a sun in Cancer. So the reason why I was just like, wow, this is wild, the nature of your rising, and this is like, thank you once again for existing. You literally just spoke to me about how you're becoming this ascended master. So, this quality of your rising is an ascended nature of your spirit because it trines your sun in Cancer, the way you emotionally and psychically, rather, express the Holy Spirit you represent. And as a divine being, you have the vibration of golden sincerity or the golden priest, right? The Leo moon, the golden uh, awesomeness and righteousness in sincerity, which I personally see Uranus and Neptune as evil shit. Like, really kind of exposing not just narcissists, but just like evil people. It's not, the aspect in and of itself is not bad at all. It's actually incredible because it completes unconsciously your body's ability to literally, as an antenna, pick up the integrity of your friends and who you perform to. Because if you're the divine being as the Aries, the Pisces rising, the fifth house is the spirit of your creativity through the emotions with which you passionately express them. But you're performing it to the 11th house, Capricorn. And this is where you make people feel strange and weird, not always in a bad way, because what you're doing is psychic, it's expressly supernatural, as simple as you literally opening up a conversation with someone and now you're telling them exactly how they feel and it makes them uncomfortable because it's like, how do you even see this? Like, this is really weird. And you may not always be aware of this. It doesn't have to be that crazy too. It could be a lot more subtle. And another thing I want to say is my youngest sister is a Cancer sun. uh, and she also has 29 degrees Mercury in Gemini. I have 29 degrees Mercury in Taurus. So she graduated college with the 4.0 at the highest of her class, and she's studying medicine in Stanford. So it's an intellectual brilliance that allows you to process the truth of information at literally the master level. I like to say with Mercury in Taurus, I can enunciate my words. When in Gemini, you really thinking fast and you're able to multitask and actually think about a million things at once and also communicate pretty fast as well and actually correlate, connect information, which is not only brilliant, but like your brain is like a dual core processor that can literally process so much at once. It's also a part of a legendary yod with Pluto in its dignity in Scorpio, and then Neptune and Uranus, which is the literal supernatural. And this is where I'm born 1990, so we have Neptune, Uranus, and Saturn and Capricorn. It's incredible. Literally, if we were to compare what you have and I have, it's literally like a new Tesla, and it's the wave. It's like a new type of car, and it charges energy in ways that don't need gas. You would be like the newer, more updated model. And then people born in the 2000s would be like the hyper advanced model that doesn't even need a charge and they can go to space. But the key thing that's really cool with ours in 1990 is that we're drawing from extra dimensional realms of existence. Okay. Uranus is the causal realm of the mind and Aquarius out of this world. And then Neptune is literally your imagination. So at an unconscious level, you're, especially with your emotions, not even just your emotions, just the way you kind of feel and emote, you're able to interface with drawing from your imagination and grounding that physiologically. It is a power, a supernatural power all of us born after like 85 possess to like 98. But for us in 90, because Saturn is in Capricorn, of
Mm.
the material reality, right? We literally bring it into reality. The more divine aspect of this you have is with Saturn and Pisces. So Saturn is actually in the astral realm, drawing from your imagination and making it real instantly while it pipelines through your imagination in Neptune in Capricorn to also make it real. It's just y'all have the conjunction with Uranus and Neptune. So you're this cycle of blending, and this is how I like to see it. It's kind of like in it's kind of like, I don't want to say like Rick and okay, there's this show called The Disastrous Life of Psyche K, and he's like a super psychic. Neptune is like the super psychic. It's like they have all the psychic abilities, they have all the supernatural abilities, and they're like intuitive and precognitive. But Uranus is like the super genius. Yeah, they're not psychic, but they're like Rick Sanchez. They can literally invent anything. And like they're super genius. And then Saturn is like the super gangster, like the businessman. So your generation, like not it's all our generation, right? But specifically in 94, you're linking the super genius with the super psychic. This is an innate claircognizant knowing of your intuitive psychic power that opposite your sun is definitively a superpower. The only consequence and drawback is this is super shady because if this was any other planet, even the moon, you'll see it. It's a personal planet, but this is Neptune and Uranus. So it's like you're dealing with invisible forces. Your open enemies are invisible forces that seek to antagonize you. And this is why cancers of this generation get gaslighted because you feel it, but then if they don't have integrity, Capricorn, they'll deny it. And most people, it's I used to do this too, where I would be uncomfortable share because I have a moon in Capricorn. So I would do this to cancers all the time, where they'd be like, "Oh, what's on your mind?" And what are you feeling? I'd be like, "Oh, nothing." And it's like the whole time psychically you feel it, and this is you kind of overcoming that, awakening that. So I just kind of wanted to speak to that because Saturn, of course, is you fully mastering this. There's a supernatural element to this where you can sway the crowd, control the crowd invisibly with trance, with hypnotism, with like literal claircognizant power. And this is barely the tip of the iceberg. Like there's supernatural power here that you induce in the 11th to make a lot of your ambitions be made real and to intuitively find the right people who belong in your team. So Saturn through here in 2020 weeded out your team. And I just love that last year was you completing the cycle of releasing everything. And it's very difficult to go through a 12 house cycle because you release and remove and lose a lot, and you really don't have an idea of what you're doing. So when I went through this transit, I didn't know I was going to become the peace dealer. I was
Mm.
just I was releasing old spiritual beliefs around Christianity. I thought I was going to be a theologian. And by the time Jupiter came through the first house and started manifesting into Gemini, I was becoming enlightened about astrology. And then I became the peace dealer. And that's literally what's happening for you this year and next year, except you have Saturn here. So this is way more gangster. And that's what I appreciate. I didn't know, but you have Aquarius in the 12th house. So you literally knew. You're like, you know what? I'm no longer this person. Now I'm ascended master Massai, and I'm going. I literally heard I'm about to kill these motherfuckers. Like, about to kill these niggas, to be honest. And in the
Oh, you
sense where
said what?
I heard I'm about to kill these niggas, like straight up in the sense where it's like, you're you're coming for blood, like the reaper is here, and like you're fulfilling. I feel like you have this amazing destiny where like you're destined to just like kill evil people, or just really actually I want to speak on that because that's a really key facet of us as Pluto Scorpio. We are destroying the impurity of the old world, but 94 I think is the most important aspect of this. 86 and where it begins, 84 rather, and 85 are important because they started, and 94 y'all ended. And so, Pluto on the North Node is fully tapping into this destiny of fully opening up and transforming how purely you really address trauma. It's literally the completion of how this started. That's so deep. I didn't even realize that until now. Because I spoke to somebody today, a straight celestial queen, that has this in 80, like 4 or 85 or 86, but at the South Nodal end. And so her whole destiny is to really complete that trauma, but you have the North Nodal end. So you're completing that and you're now redefining and transforming like a social sexual revolution here in a certain sense with the grounding of your own natural attitude to, with the North Node Pisces, your destiny is to transform religion, but also create your own occult belief system. It's deeper than this too, because you're destined to kind of like teach people about the occult, but in a very unconventional way. It's not as simple as that. Like, if you never taught anyone about the occult and you were an atheist, this could be you just like teaching about engineering. But the way you teach about engineering, you would teach people like the secrets about engineering that no other teacher would teach them about. Like, you would give them more hidden understanding of how to kind of like transform the way you get it, which is even deeper than that because it's a little vague, but like that's really significant. Like to see this on a ninth house with Jupiter here, which will enable you to travel to foreign lands. This is very important because Scorpio is more the underworld and more underground, but like the South Node is here. So this is unlocking this so it can ground what you've been teaching to learn how to kind of express more groundedly and break down more solidly. Anyway, this is cool because Saturn, that's in Pisces, enables you to complete that karmic cycle and the full understanding of why everything had to play out generationally before we step into the next generation. Here's another thing, though. The opposition with Uranus and Neptune is this very stupid gaslighting and manipulative sense to reinforce your confidence with stupid opinions and negativity, just to kind of like get a reaction from you. And you're intuitively going to pick up on that too. Like people name calling you or people just insulting you, and you having to address that with the spirit in the way you respond emotionally. But you are a true mastermind with the Mercury 29 degrees. And I just want to establish that. So now, as we step into your Saturn return, I want to really just honor once again that Saturn coming through Aquarius. The reason why I wanted to establish that last year was the year you transcended the knowledge of your collective personality. Being a Pisces rising makes you a collective, being a Leo moon makes you a social, and being a Cancer makes you an individual. I have my moon in a collective sign where you have your rising in a collective sign. So you're a collective personality. In other words, you're a god, you're a judge. And what type? Pisces, you're an ascended master. Saturn here adds the karmic element of you being an instrument of karma. So I don't know if I gave you the last time this alien construct article, but I'm going to give it again about being a Saturn uh, instrument alien because this is the major feature of your Saturn return anyway, where you, since you were born, come back around to return this aspect of being a beneficial role model for leaders, authority, and men, identifying others' paths, fighting intergalactic wars, confronting the dark side and winning. And this is very important because being an instrument of this divine karma sets you in the very important collective responsibility of holding space to have this authority over reality warping and also over beliefs, over the integrity of beliefs and exposing frauds that kind of sell dreams. So for you to identify with this is literally being the undercover boss. Your Saturn return is you becoming the undercover boss and pulling people's cards and shape shifting in front of somebody real quick because you understand this truth at a very private level. And your legacy is to be seen for how you ascend and change the meaning of how people see success. To be honest, so I have a collective individuality because my moon's in the collective sign, but your moon's in a social sign. So your moon in Leo needs that social activity to really be creative and fun. But you're a social individual. So you're an individual, sincere spirit who that's holy, that's social. You actually need to express your heart with the right people and just to kind of have fun. But you have a collective personality. So as a divine mirror, you literally personally reflect the meaning of everything in the collective unconscious back to itself. Which being a Pisces rising, no one understands what it means to be a Pisces rising. Even some Pisces risings, like it's a legendary personality. And because of the age we're coming out of, a lot of y'all are just kind of at the mercy of people's stupidity. So it's nice that as the uh, undercover boss, you're back because that's what I'm saying. I really get a huge I'm back with a vengeance. Like it's time to kill it. And something to keep in mind too, because now that we've established you've transcended this knowledge of yourself and you're talking to me literally, stepping into Jupiter, coming into your first house. March 2nd is going to begin the cycle of this officially. And this is where you're going to really come into the becoming of this with the evolution, right? And so, what we want to see for 2022 is a huge transition year. It's you being in a position to open the chapter of a brand new book that's called, shoot, I'm hearing Archangel or Ascended Master Massai, right? The book of Massai, right? Whatever it's called, right? This is you literally last year was the last chapter of the old book where you literally ended the chapter of you as Nicholas, and now you're opening the book this year as Massai. And this is the first chapter, right? Now, peep game. This year, Jupiter is going to go through your first, and you're reading the first chapter. It's going to retrograde in October back into Pisces because it's going to go into Aries as soon as May, and then it's going to retrograde back in October, and then it's going to go into your Aries again 2023, and you're going to officially kick off chapter 2. Um, this is going to officially come in over your AC like in April. So, chapter 1 has Saturn in your 12th house. You're going to go into chapter 1, which is the becoming of Massai. Saturn in the 12th is referencing your old life as Nicholas. It's like in your becoming or walking, you're still having to close out the karma and deal with Nicholas's old karma, but not as Nicholas, as the first chapter as Messiah. So this is important because the first chapter for you is really just reestablishing where you're at, and you want to see it as like an introduction because chapter 2 is really your chapter 1, and there's so many symbolic layers on this. Chapter 2 is Aries, and Aries is the first sign, so it really starts chapter 2, and you're going to sneak peek this in May. This is lit. Then, what really makes chapter 2 chapter 1 is that during chapter 2 in 2023, by like April and March and April, when the sun comes over Pisces and you actually begin chapter 2, like the beginning of chapter 1 and chapter 2, right? The beginning of chapter 2, Saturn comes into Pisces and you begin your Saturn return. And so this is where the plot kicks in. You know, when you read a story and then it kind of introduces people, but then bam, the conflict, like the main story kicks in. That's chapter 2. Chapter 2 is you manifesting the identity and the value of the identity of Master Massai. Okay. And now that you've gone through a whole 2022 of experiencing that, being that while closing out on the karma, you have officially closed out on that karma 2023. And now this is about Massai. And you're manifesting in chapter 2, Jupiter and Aries, the identity through the definition of the actions as Massai to create the values you stand on in that character. But I just kind of want to know that's when it begins. You're not going to complete it until 2024, and you're not going to get the results of the Saturn return until 2025. So I just think this is really gangster because what we see here, and thank you, by the way, because I'm learning so much about the Saturn return through reading your Saturn return uh, chart and how to kind of see this for Pisces rising. So 2023 in April it starts, and this is key because Pluto's going to go into Aquarius when you have your Saturn return. Why is the Saturn and Pisces Saturn return significant? Saturn and Pisces is a bridge Saturn that the next generation you share this karma with the new generation because right when you were born, after you were born, Pluto went into um, Sagittarius like a few months after, and then it retrograded back. So Saturn and Pisces is literally the mutable bridge to pass the torch to the new generation, and it's key because you coming of age and returning your power is coming and coinciding with Pluto going into Aquarius and the literal end of the world. It's going to turn into revelations because y'all karma is to literally clean sweep and end everything. And then pass the torch to the Saturn and Aries and be like, all right, we're done. You can create the new. It's gangster. It's literally gangster. So for
So
you,
I don't mean to cut you off. So I'm
no,
pretty much I'm pretty much like a spiritual warrior, pretty much.
I would say you're more than that, bro. Definitely a spiritual warrior, but definitely spiritual warrior. But I feel like more like a general because you're going to be commanding a lot of forces. Um, it's just take that whole generational nature, right?
Hmm.
And a lot nice. And a lot of what you're doing concerning that is putting yourself in a position to identify and be an instrument of that. So other people in your generation will look at you and see what it means and draw from that. It's like you carry one of the hubs. Um, and by the time we step into 2023, it's more complete. Remember, this whole entire thing is your completion process that's putting you in a position to fully become yourself. I get heavy walk-in vibes. And I'm just very mind blown that you've already identified, you're already in it. So this is when you're gonna begin 2023. And then in March of 2024, um, you're gonna complete the Saturn return, right? And then let's see, is it gonna retrograde back there? It's gonna retrograde 19 degrees, but it's not gonna go back to 12. It's gonna actually go direct at 12. That's gangster. That's gangster. So it's gonna literally return March of 2024. Then it's gonna go direct, and then it's gonna retrograde back in November of 2024, and you're gonna complete it again. So that's like a huge adjustment phase, 2024, where like when it comes in, you're starting chapter two, right? And in starting chapter two, you're establishing the becoming of, okay, now 2022, I became Massai and I cleared away all of Nicholas's karma. Now 2023, I am fully becoming Massai. I'm now creating new karma as Massai. It's like you're starting a new business, Massai Enterprises, and you have to take the 2.5 years to come into industry research and bring your business out the ground so that you can now manifest the value of it, Saturn and Aries, the results of your Saturn return. So by the time you come into 2024, you've completed this. And this is where you're going to now step into a beta test of experiencing this complete karma. And you're going to complete this 2025. I want to say by 2026, specifically in February, you're now ready to manifest the results of this Saturn return. And the key distinction here is that Jupiter is going to be from Pisces to Cancer. By the time we end your Saturn return, and Saturn is in Aries, Jupiter is on your sun, exalted, evolving your spirit. So this is like one of the most divine transcendent becomings. We want to note that Jupiter is going to be transiting through Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and Cancer. So 2023 is chapter 2, where the story begins. And then chapter 3, 2024, is where you complete the initial part of your Saturn return, where you're now manifesting in a grounded way the attitude of Massai, your thoughts, how you actually manifest your supernatural abilities in reality, where your body is like a remote control and you're drawing fully on this pure energy. 2025, it's now in Gemini. And this is where you're completing the understanding of the truth of yourself and where you feel at home and how you communicate this to yourself and how you see the vision of your success. And that's where you complete it and you get ready to evolve your spirit and express this becoming socially towards the world ahead. And that is your Saturn return, bro. Please keep me posted. I would listen to this at least 7 times throughout the course of the next couple of years. I think this is the most epic Saturn return I've done to date, and at least understanding how this plays out. And once again, thank you for existing because this is like on some superhero shit.
Man, that's crazy, man. Any hints and tips like what I should look out for? You know what I'm saying? People, because I'm real people oriented. You can probably see it in my chart, like you were saying. I'm real people oriented. So like, I know everybody is not worthy of that though. You know what I'm saying? Like any like hints and tips you can give me like on that, as far as the people that I got around me and stuff like that.
You'll feel it. The reason why it's kind of difficult is because you feel it, but it's so nebulous. Like the opposition, you literally deal with and attract pathological liars or people who are just in denial. And now this isn't everyone. Like if they have integrity, they're gonna be super honest. They're gonna actually like complete what you feel, but actually showing you. But most people are insecure and like power like this is freaky to them. Like it kind of scares them. So like they'll either be scared of you or they'll probably be evil and just lie to you. But it's not as simple as we don't like his power. He's gonna do this. It's usually overlayered in some conflict and manifest through some kind of conflict between you and that person. But just trust what you feel because it's always right.
I got you. And another thing, like I know like just when I'm out in general, it just always seemed like, like people staring at me, or like, like they don't want to like be around me. Not like in a way like, you might not want to be around somebody because they smell bad or something, like not like that, but it's kind of like they like, they like give me eye contact and they like look down, or like they look away like real fast, or they, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a,
Right.
I
Oh,
don't know, weird.
you peep that.
Huh?
No, you peep that. Thank you for saying that. Um, I feel like your body will psychically respond to how people react to you. So it's not just like you catch them, it's like intuitively your body knows when to actually see that too. And yeah, trust what you feel because if you ask people, they're not going to tell you the truth always. So I think it's also unconscious attraction you attract, and it's an unseen element that's awakening. For the first time ever in your life, you're going to be able to control it. It's kind of like being able to emotionally control your dealings and other people with other people too.
Um, Gotcha. I'm just trying to think, is there anything else? Because I ain't never spoke to you on the phone before. Like I couldn't, because you was doing the videos at first, so I couldn't really, I couldn't really ask you no questions like I wanted to, because we wasn't like on the phone or through videos. So,
I feel you. That's real.
dang, what I was about to say. Trying to think. Oh, far as like my work and stuff like that. Is there any way that you could give me a hint on like when this 9 to 5 thing will end? Because this shit is just, I don't like, it's something telling me to leave and just do my own thing, but then another thing is telling me to just stay working for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm like stuck in a rut right there. I'm not sure if it's just what time it'll come or what. Like, I'm not sure.
No, I love what you're saying because um the reason why I do what I do is because I took the risk to just kind of leave the whole 9 to 5 and just do what I
Mm-hmm.
do. And I was stubborn with it too. Like Spirit was like, I was like, I just want to leave. And Spirit was like, okay, just leave. And I was like, but I need this, I need that. And so like it just kind of happened. And when it happened, everything kind of unfolded for me. And a lot of that started during the 12th house transit. So you what you're feeling is that inevitably you're gonna have to let go of the 9 to 5. Like once Saturn clears your 12th, that's the karma of Nicholas who worked the 9 to 5. But you're a Massai, right? So you're gonna find this new moon today and tomorrow is gonna actually establish that exit plan, and you want to really set the intention for the next step because it's really just going to unfold for you. What I can do over the next like 5 months, you can listen, you can apply what you listen to in these audio books that I'm going to send you.
Okay, it was like just record myself.
No, you could just listen to the audiobooks and just do the exercises they share in that for like the next 5 months, if anything.
Okay.
Yeah. And just
All
apply that.
right.
You'll see what I mean. You'll see what I mean.
All right, cool. Now, is there anything about? Because I know I started to wanted to mention that I just got an acting coach, so I think I'm gonna actually get into some acting, get into a little bit of acting. I'm not sure if that's gonna be something that play a part, but
Oh, absolutely. I totally see that. Anything really that promotes your creativity and just kind of put yourself out there.
right. And I also got a clothing line that's up and running. Well, and I wanted to mention that to you as well. Like a part of my spiritual journey, I came past. I always been able to. I always been like a good dresser. Putting colors together and stuff like that. But I never took it to that extent. But I got a clothing line that I came up with. It's called A Few Elements, and I got the logo and everything. I got a page and everything. So that's something that I got up in the works too. So I know you mentioned with the it's always good to just be doing something like creative. You know what I'm saying? Just because of my makeup, my spiritual makeup. So,
Right.
but yeah, that's something I got in the works too.
That's
Uh, yeah. I was about to ask, did you see anything about that? Like in the church?
Oh, that's it specifically because I was wondering how you were going to do it, but you just answered that question for me. Basically, the first house transit for me was when I started my YouTube channel. So Jupiter is going to basically for the next 12 years evolve anything that you start creatively. You almost want to make like a wish for the next 12 years and knowing that it's all coming true.
Hmm.
Yeah, you're getting hooked up. Super hooked up.
Yeah, I don't feel like it sometimes. I swear. I do not feel like it sometimes.
And that's the karma you're overcoming because you're like a martyr. You're taking in so much karma for everybody that no one will really understand or believe you. And you're healing that with Chiron and how you serve other people or the society, which is really vague to say because it applies to literally everything in every context. But you're gonna fully understand it. Like once your Saturn returns, you're gonna overcome that feeling and then you'll be in full control of your destiny and karma. Starting like this May. So
Okay, cool.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
What was that?
I was gonna say, well, what's the difference between a Saturn return and a solar return?
Okay, so Saturn return, we just broke down your return over the next couple of years, but the solar return is the chart during your birthday of this year.
Okay. So would
And
that
that
be similar to like a natal chart, kind of like?
kind of, the natal chart is your birthday for like the blueprint of your whole life, but the solar return is the gift of that year.
Okay, cause I know before I had made the purchase, I didn't know if it was. I'm like, okay, which one is more important? Is it the Saturn return or the solar return? But I just picked
Oh,
the Saturn return 'cause I ain't know, huh?
yeah, I'm glad you did the Saturn return because the timing of it was perfect.
And I know I missed like what 3 appointments.
Yeah, which is very Piscean because y'all don't have a concept of time because you're not here.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, man. Man, we so misunderstood though, man. So hard to explain to people like it's the stuff that we go through, man. Shit is crazy.
Listen. You just nailed it right now. You said it's so hard for people to understand. Because, like, on the surface, you missed like 3 calls, but now was the divine time to get it. And that's your magic. It's believing in your timing, which is not going to make sense to anybody, but it's always on point.
And it's crazy you said that. I just thought about something. It's crazy you said that because I'm always good with like guessing the time. Like if I could just be somewhere and I'll probably be like, okay, it's 5:05. Then I look at the time and it'll be like 5:05. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd be good like with just naming the time like out of nowhere. Like
Wow.
somebody can ask me, hey yo, like how far you think you is from this place? And I say, shit, probably like 45 minutes. And they look at it and they be like, yo, what's 45 minutes? Like, how did you know that? And I be like, I don't know. I just guess. Oh, it's crazy.
No, you know what's dope about that? Technically, you're an instrument of the god of time. So you're a divine karmic lord.
So the hell is that? That's like the Reaper or something like that?
Yep. But
Wow.
listen, these are now divine time powers that you're gonna come into when your power returns. So like this is why innately you just feel and know it. So it's like a clear cognizance. Which thank you for telling me that, because now you just taught me what that means, which is just gangster. Like you're a divine gangster, amongst other things.
So okay. So I'm gonna just rely on my powers, the divine timing, because you
Yeah,
know a lot of things we always want to happen on our time physically, but you know for me it just always happen on the right time. Like whether it's getting money, whether it's as far as the finances, I'm not sure what those supposed to kick in, but it always feel like when something is going on and something is happening and I feel down in the rut, always something that come right on time to pick me right back up, whether it's money, whether it's, just protection or, just always will I get a phone call from somebody, I'd be like, yo, I ain't talked to this person in years. Now all of a sudden they call me or some money come in. I hit like I do betting and you know how hard it is to win like when you betting and stuff like that. And
yeah.
like I hit, but I always hit like at the right time, like to pay my bills or something like that.
Wow,
Like it's crazy.
that's deep. Okay. So your awareness of that phenomena is gonna evolve to where your power returns, and now you know how to fully control it and be it, and it's like a legitimate power. So you're on the verge of stepping into that, and with that, you won't need a job. So
Okay, so this job is only just temporary, just to
yeah,
drag me along. Yeah.
remember, you're closing out the karma of Nicholas now. So that's gonna be the end of your working life. You're no longer the mortal Nicholas. You're the ascended. You're the divine being. Wow, that's lit. All right, brother. I'm gonna send you this recording right now.